We're so excited to talk about wedding video. We have a great topic. I wanted to kind of talk about what we can expect or what our brides can expect the month of. So I figured this is something we can, segue into video, but also overall what they can do with their vendors. But before we get started, let's introduce ourselves. I am Farah with NST Pictures and one of the wedding consultants here.
And I'm Christina. I'm one of the other wedding consultants here as well.
And I'm Jennifer, Director of NST Pictures.
Okay, so let's dive right in. So the month of, obviously, there's going to be so many things that we need to consider. And I think the number one thing would be timeline, right?
Totally.
It gets a little bit hectic. So what would you say are some key points to consider when planning a timeline with the bride?
So I mean, in terms of that month before, I think that's usually when everyone's coming out and wanting to, confirm things and wrap things up. So for us, for our brides out there, we send out questionnaires ahead of time. So this month before, we like to check back in with you and really look at that timeline together. And for us, we're kind of hitting all those great video moments and those keys. So this is the time that we can run through the entire step-by-step of the day, wherever we start with you. Any red flags that come up, anything that you want to consider, we're able to chat, right? It's like sort of like talking out the timeline really helps, or maybe it's as straightforward as like, oh my gosh, since the first time we talked a year ago, all the timing is all the same. It's safe, but sometimes it's not. And that time is like really great to talk it out so close to the day, especially when you're ready, sort of having these conversations with so many vendors that like everyone is feeling like it's all coming together. Those pieces of the puzzle are coming and we're getting excited.
Or maybe like you're kind of unsure a little bit about what the best use of time is for your video coverage. Always great to chat with us so that way we can see what the day is looking like in general and then find the best use of time for your video coverage. That's always important too, in case you're still up in the air about, should we start with first look or should we start with preparations? Totally important to have that chat.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And making sure that you're giving your vendors the time it needs to do their thing well. So if it means like, we know where we can sort of like buffer some time in there for you and know when it's like, this is cool, we can do this. And we don't have to, we might not have to say at the end, so we can do this for you. And it's a really good conversation.
Yeah, and piggybacking off of that, if you're planning for speeches on the night of, we want to make sure that we have plenty of time to chat with your DJ or your band just so we can plug into their soundboards and pick up that audio for you. So having that conversation open and understanding what your timeline looks like for the day really prepares you for successful film.
And I know we say this a lot in a few of our other segments, but the more information that you provide us, the better. And of course, the more our team and ourselves can be prepared for your wedding day, it's only going to help achieve the best quality film for you.
And also just like any TBCs, like anything that needs to be confirmed. I mean, that whole month is you're on our radar. We're focused in on you. So, if we need, after that call, we need to come back and be like, you know what? I'm not sure what the speech is. I need to check my venue. This is these weeks leading up to the day is when we're like, well, just get back to me and let's circle back and we'll confirm it. And it's a constant sort of follow up in those weeks leading up. So it kind of even just once you hit sort of a time like we got to circle back, it's great. These weeks are like we have enough time to do that, which is great.
And definitely. And now the other part of the month of, we also, as consultants, we want to make sure that you guys are excited for the big day. So part of that is also sharing your videographer's information because that's all part of the timeline process, making sure every contact is on your list before you distribute the master timeline for all of your vendors. So what are some things that we include in that?
So
their contact information?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're doing a runner show, definitely having names. If you have a planner, they're going to be working with the cinematographer also, so making sure they have that information. We can send some of our most recent films. Our cinematographers are our core team, so we're able to show like some really great stuff ahead of time. Line you up with like making sure, knowing that we've got a cinematographer giving you a call the week of the wedding to introduce themselves, having that questionnaire in hand. really that's just an exciting call.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about getting excited for the big day.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And don't worry if you have any last minute changes. Maybe you found out that the weather is going to be a downpour. Knock on wood, that doesn't
Always put
happen.
the happy vibes out.
Yes. But at least, we are all prepared for the day of.
Right.
So now, speaking of last minute changes, sometimes there are emergencies that can be unexpected. So it's important to have an emergency contact for the day. So in terms of having maybe like a maid of honor or a best man be the emergency contact, what are some tips to give the emergency contact? Would you say, Christina?
I would definitely say give them an idea of all the details aligned for the day. Maybe give them a copy of a timeline as well. Maybe they can help prepare for like an emergency kit for you.
Yeah.
You never know, anything might happen. Tissues. Anything that you can think of that you may need, give it to that emergency person, or your one of your in-laws, future in-laws, or someone else that's close to you in the bridal party or outside of the bridal party that knows that they have their phone ready in case they need to be contacted. Where there's this person, where that person is, or where's this location, that location. So it's always good to kind of designate that and have those things available and ready.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes maybe the loudest person, or the person that will get the team going. If there's laggers in the behind, bridal party.
We only have 5 minutes, guys. Come on, let's pull it together.
Yeah.
Move it along.
And then what's so cool about NST is we actually have a client portal backend for you guys to kind of log into. So if you want to share that information with your emergency contact, they can also easily access the same information that you'll be sending us on that client portal login through their cell phones, which they will likely have on the day of because everyone carries their cell phones.
Right.
Okay, so then now moving into another part, which is my favorite part, how to personalize your day. For example, like a card exchange or personal vows. How do we make things special in terms of that?
I mean, those really are some key parts that we love because we all know like the narration of the story really plays into our style and what we like to curate from the wedding day. So knowing that there's going to be a letter reading or vows in general, but certainly if you're going to write your own vows, like I give you a lot of credit to do that. That's amazing. So like I think that last month is really sort of fine tuning all those things you want to say, right? And those beautiful sentiments you want to write. Whether it's deciding on getting some beautiful stationery or finding that perfect card. I think that all sort of lines up, right?
Yeah.
And sort of you're able to put it down on paper really in that last month.
Right, and I really like that Jen brought up, the stationery idea. I think it's something tangible. It's something that, you can open up instead of, having something written on a phone or something like that. You have something really cute and you can personalize it. We love Etsy and all those small shops on Etsy. You can help really get your maybe colors aligned, or if you have a certain theme, customize it, make it totally you guys. That way when you have that exchange for one another, it brings that level a little bit more to the next level for you, and that also looks good for your pictures and photo video as well.
And really such a nice little piece to add to like a memory box. If you're putting some like dried flowers or like that beautiful little book that had your vows in it, can also just be like one of those things that you're sort of putting into play that month before, or really just saying, okay, let me pack my stuff, like my details, and like make sure I get that letter into my night bag for the wedding day.
Yeah, actually, just kind of piggybacking off of that, I love that. And you can get packs of stationery in bulk, and then let's say for example your best man and your maid of honor have speeches prepared for the night of, have them write it down on that, and then you can keep that as a memento from your day of in that little box from your wedding day as memories from the day of. So the next kind of tip that I wanted to touch base on is planning for events the month of. It's like the craziest month. And there's so many things going on, not just rehearsal dinner, the wedding itself, and maybe a brunch after. There are other elements that we need to plan for prior. So what would you say some of those elements are and how to plan for those?
Well, there's definitely the rehearsal dinner is a big one. That comes a couple of days before. That's sort of like getting all the kinks out of what the ceremony's going to look like.
Right.
And that's a whole nother sort of planning mini party too. So, the knot, I believe, says you have 11 to 14 vendors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's just another aspect to sort of check off the list and enjoy. Even, you know, it's something to have fun at too. Let's not forget about that. A little pre-party.
Maybe you're gonna have your bachelorette or bachelor party lined up. You know, something that you might have had pre-planned, but what I've been seeing through, you know, personal friends, they're kind of keeping it like the last month before the wedding to kind of get all that excitement.
The last hurrah.
The last hurrah. Yes.
Yeah.
What else? Bridal showers. If you're doing like a Jack and Jill, or you know, typical bridal shower for the ladies. You know, a lot of fun things leading up until that time.
Definitely. And make sure, you know, this is a very hectic month, but make sure that you plan date nights for each other, with each other, and making sure you enjoy each other's company and get excited for the big day.
Right.
And with date night, it's always really nice because there is a very insider tip, which is picking your shoes for the day of.
Plan your outfit around the wedding shoe, so that way you can break them in for sure.
Right.
You definitely don't want to wear them after you buy them for the first time, because you know they're gonna hurt the day of.
Yeah.
Long day.
That's a given.
Yeah. And yeah, go ahead.
I know what you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say?
About hair and makeup.
Yes.
Don't do anything crazy.
Don't do anything crazy.
No.
New treatments, no new haircuts, hair dyes.
If you want to like balayage, wait till after the wedding and you might not like
you want to test out that blonde, that platinum on you, do it.
Don't do it.
Experiment after the wedding.
Yes, because keep in mind your pictures are going to be there forever. So you want to make sure that you love your look and you have the look that you're looking to achieve through your makeup and your hairstylist. And, you know, accessorize and keep it beautiful, but don't do anything drastic, because then if you hate it, to go back to the original, like, it might just be too much of a process, so just don't do it.
This also applies to your wedding party, you know? Let everyone know.
Yeah.
Totally.
We don't want anyone showing up with a pixie cut, you know, that's...
Experiment with the pink and blue hair.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, do it all after the wedding. Do it all after the wedding, you know, bleach.
As a courtesy.
Yeah, whatever you're doing, just do it after the wedding.
Yeah, right. They're contracted in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're part of the aesthetic.
Yes, you're part of the aesthetic. This is your look.
Yeah.
And to, you know, keep the information very open and public with everyone, especially your guests. It's really nice if you could incorporate some of these elements into your website, wedding website.
Totally.
Keep this everything updated.
Yeah.
Hotel room blocks.
Yeah.
Traveling, you know, knowing where addresses are. I mean, that's always such a great source for people to like jump back there if they don't physically hold the invitation that day.
Right. Yeah. And maybe there's, you know, for your guests that are really coming from long, you know, far distances, you know, give them some itineraries, you know, if they're, you know, some cool spots or, you know, events that are happening within the area, you know, breweries or wineries or something fun, even like museums if they're coming with the kids. You know, give them a little something to do, because they don't really may know the area that you're getting married into well. You know, make it enjoyable for everyone.
Yeah, a lot of those things sort of play in. Even like the small things. I think a lot of it comes really down to those details. And I don't think you mentioned before, no detail is enough.
Right.
So like even just on your own planning, even with us, like we want to know so much stuff. But even just like, well, what can I do? Like pack your honeymoon bag. Like if you're gonna have a honeymoon right after, or even a few days after, let yourself enjoy the few days later. Pack your bag 3 weeks before, you know, and like have that ready.
Right.
Have that night before bag, the night of the wedding.
Totally.
And then that way, just sort of like plan, you know, just do it now. Do it in that month before, and it, you know, you get to enjoy it more faster.
Right.
Yeah.
Being organized is totally key. I mean, I definitely, since I'm getting married in June, these next couple of months is really just, you know, focusing in, everyone's where they need to be, and then just really just tightening everything together and worrying about, you know, the finer details that Jen has mentioned and Farrah has mentioned. So being organized is something that I can't stress enough.
Yeah.
Is having your checklist, having the people know your plans, your close, your maid of honor, you know, relative, your mom, whoever's helping you along this journey, just really everyone on the same page and staying organized. I can't stress that enough.
And if you trust your vendors, if you chose your vendors and you trust them, and you've got a workflow going and you're in constant communication, then you don't have, like, once you square away things with them, then you can move on to like those little things, getting your family prepared, getting those little things that you want to see happen prepared.
Totally.
Because you know everyone's doing what they need to do.
Right.
And everyone's, professional and motivated to make sure you have a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So trusting in your vendors allows you to have a really smooth process.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
this concludes our IG Live.
I think we got the
segment.
month down.
Yeah, right?
I hope
Easy.
everyone has
No sweat.
no sweat.
No
Still
sweat.
enjoying.
Enjoy it. Enjoy
Yeah.
every single moment. Savor it. And take lots of photos,
I
single-
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selfies, everything.
Christina's the queen of selfies.
Yes,
in the office.
totally. Gotta have a good selfie, and you need good lighting. It's important. Totally.
We hope to connect with you guys soon.
Yay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.